Have you ever wondered what lurks in the shadows of ancient churches? What if I told you that in a quiet corner of England, something watches from above, something that shouldn't exist? In this world, there exists a category of creatures discovered by few but never officially documented. We collectively call them unidentified mysterious animals. Welcome to our UMAS video series, where the unknown becomes unforgettable. And today we're diving into one of the most chilling cases, the Owlman of Cornwall. 1976. Let this year sink in for a moment. Britain was experiencing its hottest summer in 300 years. A summer that would go down in history for more than just its scorching temperatures. While people were trying to beat the heat, something extraordinary was happening across the country. UFO sightings lit up the skies over North Wales. At Parson Beach, someone captured photographs of what appeared to be a sea monster. But in the quiet village of Owlman of Cornwall, something even more inexplicable was about to unfold. Picture this: a father taking his two daughters for what should have been a peaceful walk near an old church. Just another summer day, right? Wrong. What they saw that day would launch one of Britain's most enduring mysteries. Imagine being that 12-year-old girl, watching a creature that defied explanation circling the church spire. Not a bird, not a man, but something in between. When she put pencil to paper later that day, what emerged wasn't your typical childhood fantasy. The creature she drew had the head of an owl, but the proportions were all wrong, more human than bird. But here's where it gets really interesting. Just 2 months later, another witness came forward. A 14-year-old girl camping near that same church. Picture yourself in her shoes, sitting outside your tent on a warm July evening when you hear it. A strange hissing sound. You turn around and there it is. Those massive red eyes, that owl-like face, those pointed ears, and it's staring right at you. Think about this for a second. 2 separate witnesses, 2 months apart, both describing the same impossible creature, and both girls, when asked to draw what they saw independently, produced strikingly similar images. Coincidence? Maybe, but wait, there's more. Just when people thought the mystery might fade away, the Owlman returned. In June 1978, it was spotted again near the church. Then again in August of the same year. Same location, same description. It's almost as if something was drawing it back to this specific spot. 4 sightings in 2 years, all centered around one ancient church. Still think this is just a case of mistaken identity? Remember that record-breaking heat wave I mentioned? Well, it might be more important than we thought. You see, 1976 wasn't just hot. It was like nature itself had gone haywire. And right in the middle of this environmental chaos, our mysterious friend decided to make an appearance. Let's break down what the witnesses saw, because these details are going to become very important. Height. Between 5 and 7 feet tall, that's about twice the size of any known owl. Features: an owl's head with pointed ears but with eerily human-like proportions. Eyes: large and glowing red, not reflecting red, actually glowing. Wings: massive spans with visible clawed hands when flying. Now here's where science tries to step in. In North Yorkshire, about 400 miles north of our mystery, there's a population of what we call Eurasian eagle owls. These are the heavyweights of the owl world, the largest owls on Earth. They're impressive birds, growing over 80 centimeters in length, and they're known to hunt everything from rodents to small deer. Some experts suggest one could have crossed the English Channel to reach Cornwall. Problem solved, right? Well, not quite. Even these massive birds are nowhere near 7 feet tall. And last time I checked, eagle owls don't have human-like proportions or glowing red eyes. Plus, think about this. If it was just a large owl, Why did all the sightings cluster around one specific church? And why did they start specifically during Britain's hottest summer in 3 centuries? Had started as a local mystery has evolved into something much bigger. While the original witnesses were drawing their eerily similar sketches in 1976, they had no idea they were documenting something that would capture global imagination for decades to come. The case became so intriguing that it drew all sorts of interesting characters to Cornwall. Among them was Tony "Doc" Shields, a charismatic local researcher who became deeply involved in documenting the phenomenon. Like something out of a mystery novel, Shields seemed to have an uncanny knack for being in the right place at the right time when it came to unusual sightings. But whether you see him as a helpful chronicler or just another piece of the puzzle, one thing's certain: the Owlman story extends far beyond any single person's accounts. The case was so compelling that it attracted serious researchers. In 1985, respected paranormal investigators Janet and Colin Board proposed a fascinating theory in their book, Alien Animals. They suggested that the Owlman's appearances weren't random. They were tied to the location itself. The old church, they claimed, was built on ancient ground. Could this explain why all sightings centered around this one spot? But here's where it gets really interesting. By 1989, in their book Modern Mysteries of the World, the Boards had completely changed their tune. After years of research, they withdrew their supernatural theory and suggested instead that the creature might be an escaped large bird. Think about that for a moment. What could make experienced researchers completely reverse their position? What evidence did they find? Or what evidence found them? Meanwhile, the story of the Owlman has inspired everything from horror films to scientific investigations. The 2013 film Lord of Tears brought the creature to the big screen, while shows like Animal Planet's Lost Tapes attempted to recreate the encounters for television audiences. Jonathan Downes, a respected cryptozoology expert, was so intrigued he wrote an entire book called The Owlman and Others. But here's what makes this more than just another creature feature. The sightings never stopped. Reports from 1989 and 1995, completely unconnected to earlier investigations, describe encounters virtually identical to those first sightings in 1976. Same location, same description, same mysterious behavior, and perhaps most intriguingly, same connection to unusual weather patterns. Today, if you visit Cornwall, you might find yourself on an Owlman mystery tour, complete with t-shirts and souvenirs. But while tourists snap photos of the old church, locals still speak in hushed tones about what lurks in the shadows. Because unlike many cryptid stories, the Owlman has never been known to attack humans or livestock. It simply watches. Think about that for a moment. In all these decades, across multiple sightings, our mysterious friend has never shown aggression. It's almost like it's studying us. And during that scorching summer of '76, when nature seemed to be breaking all its own rules, maybe, just maybe, something crossed over into our world that science still can't explain. Is the Owlman a misidentified bird? A supernatural entity? Or something else entirely? Here's what we know for sure. In a world where mystery seems increasingly rare, the Owlman reminds us that some questions remain unanswered. What do you think lurks in the shadows of Cornwall? Have you ever encountered something you couldn't explain? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more unexplained mysteries. After all, the truth is still out there, watching.